VancouverTourist.com here by Science World in Vancouver, and we've run into Ziggy and Werner, who are not so typical tourists from Germany, and we're going to ask them a couple questions about their cycling journey.
We cycled down to Seattle via the islands,
Okay.
but we came back by train.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. How was that experience?
The train was great, but
Yeah.
the boarding and exit experience is horrible.
Okay.
You feel like being cattle in a cage.
And what tips would you have for anybody doing that?
That they take a lot, that they come early enough to go through the check-in procedure.
So where did you start your journey?
We started in Calgary.
Uh-huh.
We flew in from Germany
Right.
to Calgary, got
Yep.
the bikes out and started cycling along what is called the Icefield Parkway.
Nice. And the Icefield runs between Banff and Jasper, right?
Banff and Jasper.
Nice.
It's very hilly.
That's Rocky Mountains,
Yeah, sure.
so it's a lot of hills. So you must be in very good shape.
We are relatively.
I'd say you're doing pretty well. That's good. And what prompted you to take a journey on bicycle through Canada, through this part of Canada?
I have a colleague who did that.
Uh-huh.
Her son was a student in Canada, and she did it, particular cycling Icefield Parkway. She recommended us.
Yes.
to us. So
Yeah.
we did it too, but we continued. After Jasper, we went to Mount Robson, Wellsgrave Park, Okanagan, and then we did the Kettle Valley Rail Trail.
What did you think of it?
The landscape is fantastic. The trail is in a horrible condition for bicycles because
Yes.
it's completely rubbed up. The surface is gravel and sand
Right.
because they go there with ATVs.
I see. Okay.
And it should be closed for motor vehicles, and really the surface is a bit smooth. Then
Right.
It's better for bicycles.
Right.
It was-
Okay.
For bicycles, there's such a lot of luggage.
Right. And you do have a lot of luggage. What has the highlight of the trip been so far?
Oh, there are many highlights. The rainforest, because we were out to Vancouver Island.
Okay, so the rainforest, Cathedral Grove, and between.
Or Tofino, Ucluelet, this area.
Right.
We did a very nice boat tour from Port Alberni out to Ucluelet.
Oh, great.
That was a great experience. But what we liked also, Ziggy, was Mount Robson.
Ah.
That's a great area.
Yes. And if I'm not mistaken, that's Canada's tallest mountain.
It is.
Yes.
It's very nice. You can cycle in and then hike.
Great.
Go up to the level where the glacier is. It's fantastic.
Have you found around Vancouver? How's it been for cycling?
We didn't yet prove it.
Well, we cycled, for instance, out to Horseshoe Bay.
Okay.
The problem is, the beaches, the coastline is private property.
Right.
You have a street that is very hilly,
Yeah.
but you don't see much of the sea.
And there's no shoulder.
There's no shoulder.
Mhm.
And you have to go, so you don't see much of the sea because of all this private housing. That's
Right.
also the case along the Sunshine Coast where we came down
Yes.
from Powell River.
We know that you now have proposals to go through the town with a bicycle, but we didn't prove it
Yes.
ourselves not yet.
It's
Right.
very
Maybe
good-
tomorrow we will go through the town tomorrow.
And now you're going to go along the seawall to
Yeah.
the hostel in Spanish Banks. And I think you'll find that a lot more comfortable. I know that, yeah, we're catching up to Europe when it comes to cycling paths, etc. But Vancouver is probably one of the leaders in North America,
Yes?
if you can believe that.
You live in which...
In terms of cycle development of
yes?
cycle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which is not saying it's great. It's just saying it's one of the better ones in North
No, I mean,
America.
this
City is a city. You
Yeah.
can't change it.
Right.
But here, this looks very nice.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's a very nice city. How have you found drivers? Have drivers been fairly courteous? They have? Oh, good.
Canadian drivers are very, very careful and helpful. The problem is, of course, big truck drivers of big trucks can't see you.
Right.
You have to be careful with the logging trucks, for instance.
Okay.
But everyone was very nice and helpful and careful.
Oh, good.
It
Oh,
was
good.
Much better than in Europe.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Wow.
The Europeans are not very good in
Right.
taking care of each other in traffic.
Well, do you ride your bikes on the Autobahn?
No, it's not permitted. But here it's permitted. We even got on the Coquihalla Highway.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
But it was no problem. The weather was a problem and it was very high.
Yes, it's very high. And so if you on the shoulder seasons, you could run into snow up there.
Yeah, we ran into snow, rain. It was rather cold.
Oh,
but
boy.
we made it.
Wow. And where did you sleep when you were on Coquihalla? Because you obviously didn't do it all in one day.
No. What we did, we came up the Kettle Valley Rail to Brookmere.
Right.
And then we heard that the trail down to Hope
Right.
is not in a good condition.
Oh.
So we cycle to Merritt in the other direction, which is all downhill mainly.
Right.
And then we took a taxi to get up on the Coquihalla to the what's called a toll booth, and from there we cycled to Coquihalla.
So from the old toll booth area, you went
it's almost at the summit.
And from that area you went down to Hope.
We went to Hope. Yeah.
Wow, that's a long descent.
Yeah, it was, but okay, it was okay for us.
What kind of speeds do you reach when you're descending like that?
But
60 kilometers an hour.
Because we don't. I think it's too dangerous with all the luggage.
Start swinging.
Yes. And,
oh, yes.
And you never know if everything will be fast enough, and so.
Oh, good. And how has that process been for putting your bike on the plane? Have they treated you pretty well?
This is much easier than on trains.
Oh yes, I'm sure.
They have a very good service.
Good.
It's cheap.
Yeah.
And they provide plastic bags.
Wonderful.
Of course, to take the pedals off and to take the air out.
And that's something really important for tourists to keep in mind, because in Vancouver, around the seawall, you could do about 40 kilometers going around the seawall, which for most people, that's plenty. You know, you can do a lot, and there's a lot to see and do along the seawall. So that's great.
What you call a seawall?
Seawall is basically just the path that goes, that you could cycle or walk on, that goes all the way around the waterfront.
That's what we like.
Yeah, and it goes from Spanish Banks all the way through down here to Science World, and then it continues around the peninsula, which is downtown, to Stanley Park, and then around the other side, which is Cole Harbour. And the Stanley Park portion alone is 10 kilometers.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
To go around Stanley Park.
Yeah, I see. This is this.
Yeah.
Oh yes, wonderful.
So to go around Stanley Park itself is 10 kilometers.
This map is absolutely helpful for cyclists.
Which map is it, do you know?
It's the Vancouver Bicycle Path map.
Okay,
we got
great.
it from the transit.
Excellent.
It's a very good thing.
That's very helpful.
So we are curious now to explore in 2 or 3 days Vancouver.
Great.
We love it.
Great. Well, Werner, Ziggy, thank you very much. And enjoy the rest of your trip.
Thank you.
Dankeschön.